people are bombarding her comments, but she had to filter them so heavily. Everyone noticed that her comments are filtered. And if you even try to type the word racist, it goes away.
Whatever apology she wants to say, she's just saving herself to make sure she still has access to future deals, future opportunities. And I'm cracking up because she's on a podcast called Canceled and literally canceling herself.
Some extremely offensive tweets from Brooke Schofield's Twitter has been resurfacing over the last 24 hours, and people all over social media are demanding an apology from Brooke since these tweets have been leaked. Yeah, they're that bad. Most of them now seem to be completely wiped off of Brooke's Twitter page, but don't worry, I got them all for you guys since people were spreading them all over Reddit. After these tweets were surfacing, some people, especially those from the Canceled podcast who Brooke is involved in with Tana Mojo, are coming forward to say that they won't be supporting her even if she were to come out with a quote-unquote apology video. The reason for this is because they just can't come to terms with Brooke's line of thinking at the time, especially when it came to people of color. And they're saying that if she addresses this in a way where she shifts the blame on her age or her upbringing, that they're going to be pissed, as she would have been 17 to 18 when making all these tweets, which to a lot of people is grown enough to know right from wrong. If she blames it on her upbringing, I'm gonna be pissed. She was 18. She had the internet, she had resources. I came from a family that spoke like that, and by 18, I knew it was racist and hateful. Wait, the same Brooke Amber is the same Brooke who had the audacity to call Zimmerman's murder of a young black child justifiable as self-defense, even though it's been proven time and time again that Zimmerman chased that young baby down and shot him. That's that Brooke. I was Brooke's exact age when the Trayvon Martin situation came out, and I was so hurt for him and angered. So yeah, no, she was old enough to understand the race behind it. So let's get into these tweets, shall we? Starting off with this one that ruffled feathers the most. She said, "Guarantee if Zimmerman shot a white guy, this wouldn't even be a story. Newsflash, this wasn't a crime of race. It was self-defense." Cassie yells racist profanities in the movie theater. Only minority in the room is sitting directly behind us. To you or to not you. Everyday struggle. Quit calling me when you're fat. I don't even want you when you're sober. She replied to someone else who said, "Why do I have the most ratchet hair ever?" My god, I swear I had nappier hair this morning than most African Americans on this end of our country. Hashtag Afro. What do you call a Mexican baptism? Bean dip. She even said herself in one tweet, "I said so many accidentally things last night, I don't know how I even made it back to America." You can't trade lap dances for cheeseburgers because after a little while, no one will want a lap dance from a fat person. Hashtag you're welcome. Oh, I see. I'm gonna go later because I get all embarrassed when I work out like a fat girl. I sure wish I didn't have to dress like a for work. Someone said, "I'm dressing up for hipster day on Friday." To which Brooke responded, "You can answer your phone." And then she goes on to use the F slur. All over the comments, people were just like, you would think that by middle school, you would know that this was not a self-defense situation. I will note some people are hopeful of her, being like they hope she has changed since then, grew from this disgusting mentality, and unlearned the that was deeply embedded in her tweets. There were also some people somewhat giving her the benefit of the doubt in this, being like maybe it was just the people around her influencing her beliefs at the time, and they were a bit more hopeful when Brooke made this first statement last year regarding all of this. She did respond to this in an anonymous Reddit page about all the backlash and scrutiny over her tweets she wrote, which people did find a bit odd that she didn't address it publicly using her own real social media handles. People were questioning if she was just trying to bury this under the rug or kind of suppress it from getting more attention, but seems like she can't hide from it publicly any longer since now the tweets have gone viral. She said, "I hadn't seen the Zimmerman tweets when I wrote about bad jokes, and that obviously could never be dismissed as a bad joke. It was a horrible take that I probably wholeheartedly believed at the time. I was wrong. I have spoken openly before about what I was taught growing up versus what I believe now. Growing up, it was just me and my grandpa, an 80-year-old conservative man who played Rush Limbaugh throughout the house all day. I didn't know anything about politics as a teenager, but I would listen to him and other people around me and piece together these opinions when I truly had no idea what I was talking about. I wanted to feel like I was in the know without doing any actual research. And as ashamed as I am to admit it, I didn't start to understand how wrong a lot of it was until I was an adult. Once I moved to LA and was fully on my own was when I finally started actively learning and began to form my own opinions. But I understand what a privilege it is to get all the way to adulthood without having to really learn or care about politics. tweets. Most people do not have that luxury. And while of course I am grateful to know what I know now, I wish I put in the effort sooner. I am sorry about the tweets, and I am sorry to everyone who is hurt or disappointed by them. I am too, and I will do better. She also posted another statement I will absolutely address, especially if people are hurt by them. I have talked about it a few times before, how I look back on things I used to think were funny and normal jokes to make, and I'm just as disturbed as you are. I don't think it's normal, I don't think it's okay, just because I was kidding or young. I think it's gross and horrible. I love you all, and I do take accountability. I hate when people say things like I didn't know better or anything along those lines, so I don't want to come across that way at all. But I truly thought I was racist at that time. You can find tweets from the same time frame where I'm saying things like I don't care if you're cute and old, being is ugly, etc. I just truly thought I was being funny, and I absolutely wasn't. I know differently now, and I try to make that known the best I can. There are family members I haven't spoken to since 2020 when I realized where they stood during BLM, and I have grown into myself and my own belief system outside of what I grew up around. I love you guys, and I'm sorry to anyone who is hurt reading those. It was never funny. So it's been about a year since this post, and of course, as we're seeing on social media now, the tweets have resurfaced once more. Now, as I mentioned, her tweets this time have gone really viral, and I mean everyone on the internet is talking about it. They were just shocked that someone would have this type of mentality, especially given her stance regarding the Trayvon Martin and Zimmerman case. Shocked that she tried justifying him shooting Trayvon in the slightest. Brooke's page is now flooded with comments of people just being sickened by her past, being like they were really rooting for her as a person. On her Instagram, you had people saying things like, "It's the deleting post for me, a classic white girl move. Sweep it under the rug and ignore it." Trayvon Martin, wow. I just saw the Hero Daniels post. I'm glad you kept your phone this festival. So, a little birdie told me something. Now, it looks like Brooke might be coming out on video to address this whole situation, and I'm definitely curious as to how she's going to address every one of these tweets. She did drop another statement because her tweets have been blowing up all over social media. Her own social media is getting blown up. One person commented and said, "Girl, you gotta say something. This is wild." And Brooke responded and said, "I'm going to, I promise. I'm in Canada for work, and it's not something I want to rush or half-ass. I'm not ignoring you guys, I hear you."
You guys, I have had a lot to say about accountability lately and how important it is and how far it can go, and I feel like I'm not taking my own advice. Obviously by now you guys have seen the tweets that are circulating around. They unfortunately are not fake. Those are real tweets, like real things that I said. First of all, I want to acknowledge that I feel the same way about them that you do. I think they're so disturbing, they're wrong, they're horrible, and they're disgusting. Of course, I do appreciate the people who are coming to bat for me and like saying like, you know, it was so long ago and like she's grown and stuff, but like it doesn't, honestly, it doesn't matter. Like it literally does not matter. They are horrible. I want to talk about particularly the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman situation. I try not to be so emotional because I don't want it to seem like it's like a sympathy thing at all. I also don't want to blame anybody else at all, and so I'm trying like to be really careful about that. I just want to explain like and give some context into like my mindset at the time, because I have seen like some comments today that are like, well, no shit, she's like white nepo baby, and that was not my situation. And my parents were addicts, so I was adopted by my grandparents when I was like 10, and I grew up with them from that point on. As is true for a lot of grandparents, they're a little bit less progressive than a lot of us are now. And my grandma has dementia, so it was really just like me and my grandpa, and he is a very, very right-wing conservative man. Okay, it was like my household was literally just Fox News all the time, Rush Limbaugh, like if you guys know who that is, like playing literally all day long through the house. A lot of you guys have also seen my mom's Twitter because she was responding back and forth about the Trayvon Martin situation, and I just should have known better. Again, sometimes you like have these people that you like put on a pedestal and you think everybody older than you is smarter than you and knows everything, and they do not. Truthfully, it took me a really long time. Some of the tweets I was like 18 and people are like, yeah, like she was old enough to know better. Like honest to God, you guys, it wasn't until like even after college that I really started to like shift my way of thinking. Very, very sorry to anybody who is hurt by the tweets, and I apologize for not having said something sooner. I just felt like I was getting these messages from people who like were hurt by them, and I felt like by bringing more attention to it, I was just going to be hurting more people, and that was not the right mindset. I should have said something sooner, and I would never let something go this far. I love you all so much, and obviously I know that there are some people who are just like not going to care for me anymore. Like I understand that. I need you to know that like is not how I think, that is not what I believe.
So let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments down below. Will you still be supporting Brooke after all of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.